Thank you very much. I would start by saying every economy it needs people who are skilled, who does have the appropriate skills to ensure that that economy is growing. For instance, take like in our country, for every project that you do, for instance, like the how train, just for an example, if the how train is started, to get that project up and going, you need people who are skillful. You need people who are skillful in all the levels across the board. You need electrician, you need mechanical guys, you need also civil guys who lay the roads and the like. So that's where the FET colleges comes into play. So they ensure that whatever the economy needs in terms of skills, they are there to supply. So in other words, you need a mutual relationship between the colleges themselves and the employers. Because what is happening is that the employers will tap into this particular FET colleges. They lay the foundation in terms of skills, and the employers or the economy or the industries, all they do is just to tap on those particular students. But they are the one who definitely will ensure if they are trained appropriately by way of a joint relationship between the employers and the colleges. They will ensure that whatever that needs to be done in the economy, it's done and the economy grows. Okay. What I can say is that FET colleges are multifaceted. Multifaceted in that they accommodate those skills that need students who did not manage to go through grade 12.
Yes.
In other words, those who did not pass grade 12.
Okay.
And such students can start at N1 level, which is the lowest level, or they can do a course called NCV, of which the admission requirement is grade 9. Yeah, grade 9 for the NCV course. Grade 9 is an admission requirement, and then for the N courses, if you don't have grade 12, you can start at N1.
Yes.
But if you have grade 12, you can either start at N3 and 4, depending on your pass rate in the two subs that are important in the sector side. So you can either start without a grade 12 or you can start with a grade 12. Whereas if you start with a grade 12, it's easier because you will spend less time in the sector. But if you without grade 12, you will stay longer in the college. Yes. But let me clarify the difference between the two. I've just mentioned NCV and the NATED.
Yes.
In terms of NCV has got practical inside.
Yes.
You know, the student who's following NCV course, despite the fact that he might not have grade 12 because admission requirement is grade 9. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, the exit level of that particular NCV course is grade 12, which is pitched at NQF level 4, which is equivalent to grade 12.
Okay.
But when he exceeds the sector at NQF level 4, then he would be having both the practical and the theory.
Okay.
Whereas in the case of the N courses, it doesn't encompass practical. It's strictly theory.
Oh, okay.
But now in the case of the N courses, all you need is N2. That particular N2, it's the admission requirement for one to the trade test. The benefit thereof of the N courses as compared to the NCV, a student who is capable of writing a trade test, he can be sourced by a company, trade him, later on qualify as an artisan, and then thereafter he can also open his own company.
Yeah, that is
with
brilliant.
the experience that he acquired. Yeah, what happened is even if we don't have a formal agreement with companies, but companies do come to us and source students.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a lot of companies that come to us, not only to us because I'm in the sector, but I'm just saying it depends on from, it might differ from one college to the other. But usually what happens is when companies need trainees, they will definitely contact FET colleges that they so suit to help them.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, students also, because some companies don't go to those particular colleges, but they do advertise in newspapers.
Yes.
They advertise online. So those students with qualifications, they are free or at liberty to apply for themselves without waiting for a company to approach the college where they are. So they can either wait to be sourced through the college, or they can do that themselves. Let me just explain something here, which might translate to a difference between universities and FET colleges.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. In the workplace, you will have artisans. Those are intermediate skills guys.
Yes.
Then you'll have technicians above them. Then you'll have engineers. Now, what is happening is that the FET colleges, they train artisans.
Yes.
Those are the ones that studies from N1 to N3. or studied from NCV level 2 to level 4, those will qualify as artisans. Then you've got those who will take a diploma at FET colleges, that is from N4 to N6. Those will qualify if they are trained appropriately as technicians. But now that's the highest in technician, that's the highest the FET colleges can go. Whereas universities will do both diplomas as well as degrees. Whereas FET colleges can do certificates and diplomas only. No higher diploma, no degrees. In the very same field. Let me start an example here. I can do electrical engineering at FET college.
Yes.
But the highest I can go is to be a technician.
Okay.
Whereas universities, you will definitely do a degree from the word go and do your honors and do your masters in the very same field. Whereas in the case of the FET colleges, the highest they can go it's a national end certificate. However, you can qualify as an engineer as well. You can qualify as it as well. Once you have your trade test and you have your national end diploma, you can qualify. You can apply with the Department of Labor to be accepted as an engineer in training.
Okay.
If you are accepted with your degree and your trade, in other words, now you will be a candidate for what we call a government certificate of competency.
Yes.
But remember, the admission requirement for you to be accepted, you've got to have your trade in your respective field. You've got to have your diploma in that particular field.
Yes.
But once you are accepted and then you pass those particular 2 subjects, then you will qualify and practice as an engineer with your end diploma.
Yes. Now,
so you can work your way up from being an artisan, work your way up, become a technician, work your way up, become an engineer during the end courses with a qualification from the FET college. So, what I can say is that, remember, it depends. One student can start at the Tvet college and decide not to study further. That's fine. He or she will stay there. But if that particular student decides to study further, that is also allowed. What happened is, it differs from one university to the other. Once a student has a national end diploma and he would like to study at the university, of late what is happening is that there is an agreement, a mutual understanding between universities and Tvet colleges, whereby the colleges would say, but if we have got our graduates who had completed the FET sector and who had exited the FET sector and who have national diplomas, how can they be assisted to try to sort of migrate from the diplomas to the universities? That is happening. If you have an N6 diploma and would like to start a course at degree level, they do give you credit.
Yes.
You don't start from scratch.
Yes. So you are accredited,
so it's possible,
even if you start at an FET college, get accredited and actually go down and apply at a university.
So.
Provided the mutual agreement.
Provided you follow the very same field that you've been following at the FET college.
Yes.
Say someone is doing engineering and thereafter he's got his diploma now and he wants to sort of change that particular diploma, or either sort of change that diploma of his or hers into a degree. That is possible. He will not, his matric certificate might not work anymore because they are going to credit him based on the diploma that he has just completed.
Yeah.